Mansa Musa, the richest person in history. When it comes to matters of wealth, not even the current tech gurus can get close to the great Mansa Musa. Musa was the 10th Mansa, an equivalent of conqueror or emperor in the state of Mali, an Islamic region in West Africa. The legendary ruler lived between 1280 and 1337 and ruled for 25 years between 1312 till his death in 1337. His title conqueror is well deserved, as his ruthless authoritarian regime saw him conquer over 24 surrounding cities in the region. He ruled over present-day Ghana, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Senegal, Chad, Mali, and Mauritania. During his reign, he bagged himself many titles, among them Lords of Mines of Wangaria, Conqueror of Granada, and Emir of Mele. Mali Empire, the region that Musa ruled, is historically proven as the region that produced the largest amounts of gold and copper, among other valuable minerals. The Lion of Mali is regarded as one of the best economic rulers of his time, helping his emperor hit tremendous growth levels by encouraging architecture, literature, and arts. Among the cities that Musa conquered was Gao, the oldest trading center in West Africa. Musa's rise to power was somehow destined. He was the grandnephew of the founder of Mali Emperor Sundiata Keita. He inherited a stable kingdom, but would later turn it into one of the richest regions in the whole world. During his tenure, he built a rigorous army of strong men nearing 100,000, and also boasted an armored cavalry corps of 10,000 horses. His mean army was led by the no-nonsense general Saran Mandian. With this kind of power, Musa strategically and tactically extended his influence across the region. Musa was devout Muslim, and he would later gain influence and respect thanks to his pilgrimage to Mecca between 1324 and 1325. During this journey, Musa took with him 60,000 men, all wearing brocade, which was a garment meant for only the rich. 12,000 men out of the 60,000 were slaves. Despite that, Musa made sure his entourage looked sharp, dressing even the slaves with clothes made from Persian silk. The 12,000 slaves were not just taking a ride. Each of them was tasked with carrying 1.8 kilograms of gold bars. That alone translated to over 20,000 kilograms of gold. The slaves were also responsible for handling bags and organizing horses. Musa made sure every one of them was well fed, including the animals in transit. The ruler also used 80 camels to ferry the precious commodity, with each camel carrying between 23 and 136 kilograms of gold dust. Guess what Mansa Musa did with all these tons of gold? He gave them to the poor people he met along the way, and also in the cities he passed through, including Cairo and Medina. He also traded some gold for souvenirs with willing parties. Musa also used his riches and influence during the journey to recruit Muslim teachers and leaders so that they could join his kingdom and spread Islam among his subjects. Musa's peak of fame got even better when he decided to visit Cairo on his way to Mecca. Not only had he organized the greatest human caravan in history, but he also made sure every stoppage that they made was spectacular. The then Egyptian Sultan, Al-Nasir Muhammad, had persistently invited Musa to pay him a visit, so he took advantage of his journey to finally pay his dues. The meeting would turn out to be quite productive, especially in the economic angle, as both leaders agreed to various trade deals and diplomatic relations. To show his gratitude to the Egyptian people, Musa spent significant amounts of gold, giving everyone who dared cross his path. Egypt was like the greater capital of the entire continent then, and his actions did more than expected. With all the people in the Cairo left dancing to his tunes, he left so much gold in the long run, the Egyptian economy almost collapsed due to inflation. It took them 12 years to fully recover economically. The Egyptian Sultan was definitely not left without some precious stones. Mansa gifted him with 5,000 kilograms of gold as a token of appreciation for the warm reception. News about his exploits in Cairo crossed the Great Seas to reach Europe. The Spain administration even ordered their mapmaker to create a detailed route to West Africa so that they would also come and enjoy the gold party. Musa left Cairo, then headed to Arabia. While in Arabia, his spendthrift traits got even worse. He bought every land and house on sale so that the pilgrims escorting him would have a place to stay. While on his long journey, Musa kept learning and was particularly impressed by the places of worship he saw. He promised his caravan that once they got back home, he will begin constructing mosques. On his way back to Mali, Musa once again passed through Cairo, but this time to do business. It appeared his move to dish out gold was a deliberate move to have him gain control of the region's economy. He borrowed all the gold he could carry from moneylenders at a high rate. It is still recorded in the history books as the only time one man single-handedly controlled the price of gold in the Mediterranean. During that time, Cairo was the leading seller of gold. He crashed their economy, caused massive inflation, forcing them to sell all their gold to him. And that move finally enabled him to shift the gold market to Timbuktu. When he finally arrived home, Musa had stunningly achieved his goal. He was the talk of the region. He had managed to destabilize Egypt and also picked up a thing or two about architecture. He embarked on building his empire. He raised mosques and madrasas in Timbuktu and Gao. In fact, it is recorded that Musa built a mosque every Friday. He turned Timbuktu to a famous and wealthy metropolis, especially with the Jingwereber Mosque construction, which still stands up to this day. The mosque became a renowned learning center that attracted scholars from all walks of life and eventually became home to over 1 million Islamic manuscripts. While on his pilgrimage, Musa got inspired by the universities he had seen. He bought books and recruited scholars and brought them to the Mali Empire so they could teach his people. He also sponsored local religious teachers and sent them to Fez in Morocco, where they were required to go and learn, then come back and teach the rest. In Nani, a region within his kingdom, Musa constructed the Hall of Audience, a communication segment connecting the outside to the royal palace. He also brought architects from a Spanish region called Andalusia and others from Cairo to come build his castle in Timbuktu. He paid the architects so handsomely, guess how much? About 200 kilograms of gold. That's how much he paid each of them. Timbuktu soon became an epicenter of trade and education, with traders from Egypt, Hausaland, and other African kingdoms all making their way to trade. Musa's massive success soon reached Europe, and traders started streaming in from Granada, Genoa, and Venice, all from Italy to come and trade in Timbuktu. After Musa completed the construction of Sankore University, he employed mathematicians, astronomers, and jurists to teach at the institution. The university still stands to this day and has a capacity to host 25,000 students. It also has one of the largest libraries in the world with a staggering 1 million manuscripts. One of the most important documents of the medieval period, the Catalan Atlas, depicts Musa sitting on his throne while wearing a diadem with his right hand holding a gold coin, which was a symbol of great wealth. Musa's death has been a topic of hot debate by historians. It is, however, recorded that he died in 1337 and was succeeded by his son Mansa Mugan, who ruled from 1337 to 1341. Did you know that Mansa Musa became a ruler by pure luck? The ruling emperor, Abu Bakr II, went on a journey in the Atlantic and never returned. Before he left, he had named Musa as his deputy. And that's how the lucky people of the Mali Empire got to be led by this charismatic ruler. Analysts have done the research and found that if Mansa Musa were present today, his net worth would be around $400 billion, which is almost as much as the current top 10 list of billionaires. So there you have it, the richest person in history. Do you think anyone will ever surpass him? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Oh, and turn on post notifications.